In today's video, I'm going to show you how you can make a simple, pretty design for the spring or for Easter in this gorgeous felt container. So welcome back. If you haven't been here before, my name is Sharon, and today I'm going to teach you how to create a design that in the floristry world we would call vegetative. And vegetative means that the flowers are arranged as they would grow in nature. So no formal arranging, no formal shapes, no triangles, no circles, no square. It's going to replicate your garden border or a section that you might find in the park. Very natural, very informal, and arranged in clusters or groups. Similar to a parallel arrangement, but not quite the same. Now, I picked up this container last year. I believe it was from Lidl, and the only issue with the felt containers is they don't come with any type of waterproof lining. They're probably designed for you to put some Easter eggs in or some cakes around Easter, but I'm going to use it for a fresh flower arrangement. So I'm going to use one of these plastic liners that is usually inside a hat box. I might have been able to find a plastic sandwich box or some type of storage container that would have fitted in there more snugly, but this is the only thing I had to hand, and that's going to sit quite comfortably in the base of my container to create something really quite rustic. What I'm aiming to do is pick up on all those bright colours around the outside to create something that's really quite pretty. And what I'm going to do initially is to place some pittosporum to completely cover that floral foam. Now, I've already cut the pittosporum into small little sections, just really to speed up the process so that it's not quite so long for you to sit and watch at home. And what I really want to achieve by using this low down greenery is almost to copy that grass-like effect on the outside. So these shorter pieces of pittosporum are almost giving me the effect of grass at the bottom of my arrangement. And I'm going to arrange it low down and compact, just like grass would be in the garden. So I'm not trying to copy any particular shape for this design. It's really rustic, very informal, and quite easy to do. Now, if you don't have pittosporum like me, you could use some moss, but what you need to think about is what is naturally on the ground. What do you find on the ground? Admittedly, you don't find pittosporum on the ground, but the illusion I'm trying to create is that I've got a grass effect to the bottom of my design. So something that's fairly similar to grass is going to work well there at the base. One or two more pieces, and I've kept it low, compact, almost like a cushioned effect there at the base to give me the illusion of some ordinary grass. Now, I've got a couple of unusual flowers today, but I've got some ordinary daffodils that you will find in the supermarket. And I'm a great lover of twigs. I'm sure that you know by now. I like using very natural pieces of material. And what I'm thinking about doing is creating some height on one side, almost like it was a tree in the garden. So scale and proportion wise, this isn't going to be perfectly accurate. But what I would like to create is an illusion that this is a miniature tree growing on one side of my arrangement. And if you think about nature and you think about the garden, often the tree is the tallest, and that is going to replicate my tree. And to introduce some colour, but I'm going to do this on the opposite side, is some yellow forsythia. Look at that, isn't that wonderful? And it's got a beautiful curve, so I'm going to curve it inwards towards the centre. Possibly remove this lower one here, just to give a bit more space in between. And my choice of flowers are springtime little daffodils. And what I'm going to do with these is put them all in a cluster together, just around where my imaginary tree is. And I'm going to put them in a position like they would grow in the garden. So no formal arranging, no patterns, no structure, just little clusters as if they were coming up, popping up in the garden underneath my imaginary tree. And we get that lovely effect and a nice balance of the colour from one side to the other. Oh, I've just found another one that we can nip in on that side there. To to add in some extra height with that forsythia, I've got a flower that I don't think I've used very many times or at all on a YouTube video, but this is the butterfly ranunculus. It's probably not available yet in the garden. It's more of a summer flower, but what I loved about this was that it's a nice tall flower, and it's going to give me those varying heights of flowers that you would see quite naturally growing in the garden. So think about a really pretty border, one that's not been arranged in patterns and with a lot of symmetry. Think of something that's maybe a little bit wilder, and you get this beautiful placement of flowers. Now the heads on the ranunculus are quite heavy, so they are flopping downwards, but that makes this design even more attractive to look at. Now another flower that I don't think I've used on the channel before is this gorgeous, absolutely wonderful marigold. Now if you haven't grown marigolds in your garden, they are really easy to grow from seed, and they're fabulous in floral design. And I'm going to work these in a cluster towards the middle. So you need to imagine you have some grass in the garden, and you've gone out and you've thrown some seeds into the grass, and this is the display that has naturally formed without doing any formal placements of flowers. This is a lovely one to do in the summer when you've got garden flowers growing and you maybe haven't got matching sets of them and enough to make a formal pattern. And this isn't everybody's cup of tea. People are going to comment that it's not balanced on both sides and it's not equally arranged. But if you like informal, eclectic, sort of whimsical design, then this is going to be the one for you. I think that's just so pretty. Now I do have a couple of daffodils. I've got a set of these three that I'm going to work in towards the back. Remember that daffodils are very soft stemmed, so don't cut them at a diagonal, cut them straight across if they're going into foam, because you weaken the stem structure if you cut them at an angle. Soft stemmed flowers like the ranunculus, the marigolds here at the front, and these little daffodils are much better cut straight across, and then you'll retain the strength in the stem. I'm just going to move that way so that it's flopping over to the right hand side. Now if you think about things that are in the garden, they're not all facing the same way. Some are looking to the left, some are looking to the right, some are up, some are looking down, and that's what I've tried to achieve with the marigolds there in the centre. And a flower that you might have in the garden this time of year is the really pretty heather. I've only got a small quantity of it, but I'm thinking it would look really nice at the base, just underneath my imaginary tree on the one side, and it's going to help pick up on the lilac-y pinks that are in my container. Now I appreciate that this is not going to be everybody's cup of tea. If you've trained formally and you love those geometric shapes that we get taught in floral design, then you're really not going to like this. But it's so nice to see something different. And if you're studying floral design in college, then this is a very good example of a vegetative design. And I'm going to finish it off with some trails of ivy. If you think about ivy, they're either growing upwards, up a wall or up a tree, or they're cascading forward. And these were cascading forward out of a planter. So that's how I'm going to arrange them in this design, just as they would be in their sort of natural habitat. And that's one of the important factors with this style of arranging, is that you try and create their natural habitat. I'm trying to find the end. There we are, we've got it. That we try and arrange the flowers in their natural growth pattern. We don't force anything into a position that it doesn't want to go. Now this is my final iris. Now this is my final ivy, though I think that is really pretty and just epitomises the spring or the early summer in your garden. This is a great one to do if you don't like those very symmetrical, heavily patterned geometric styles. And as ever, let me know in the comment box below, do you like it or do you really hate it? Now is the time to ask you to subscribe to the channel. I'm eternally grateful for everybody that comes back time after time to watch another video. Let me know where you're watching from, what you like and what you dislike, and what you would like to see taught to you on the channel. This has to be one of the quickest videos I've done. Thanks for watching. Look forward to seeing you next time. Goodbye for now.